Chosen. One, this moment found you for a reason. You didn't click by chance. Heaven scheduled this encounter long before you knew it existed. Right now you are standing on the edge of a supernatural visitation, a holy interruption where divine power meets divine provision. The air around you is shifting because the presence of God is drawing near, not as an idea, but as a living reality. Anointed One. This is not another video. This is a summons from the throne room. Heaven has been watching your obedience, your silent battles, your private faithfulness, and now the windows of heaven are opening. The Lord is preparing to visit your house with what eyes have not seen, a release of peace, clarity, and supernatural wealth. The same God who said in Deuteronomy 8:18, "It is He who gives you the power to get wealth," is breathing that power into you now. Chosen One, align your spirit. Take a deep breath. This is divine timing, the hour where your preparation meets God's manifestation. You are not just about to receive a blessing, you are about to host His presence. Something holy is about to settle in the air around you. Chosen One. The atmosphere around you is shifting. You didn't find this message, it found you. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. Heaven has scheduled this encounter to tell you that God is stepping into your space, not as an idea, not as a story you once heard, but as a presence that moves through your life, rearranging what felt impossible to change. There comes a sacred stillness before heaven moves. It's the pause before divine manifestation, that silence where you wonder if anything's happening. But the truth is that stillness is movement. God is not distant. He's aligning everything around you. What feels delayed is being divinely staged. You've prayed for Him to come through. Now He's saying, "I'm already here." Anointed. One God is not approaching with correction in His hands. He's not reviewing your mistakes or judging your pace. He's coming as a Father who saw every quiet tear, every exhausted prayer, every night you stayed faithful when no one else was watching. He remembers the moments you whispered, "Lord, just hold me together." And now He's answering that cry. I've lived that silence before, the kind where heaven feels quiet, but the spirit feels full. I once thought God was waiting for me to fix myself before He could show up. But He revealed something deeper. He's not waiting for perfection. He's waiting for permission. The moment I stopped pretending I was fine and simply opened my heart, His presence filled every hidden room. 1. This visitation isn't for the perfect version of you. It's for the unfinished you, the one holding life together with faith and fragments. God is coming to the spaces you've tried to hide. The kitchen table where you cried over bills. The hallway where you paced in worry. The bed where your faith wavered but didn't die. That's where He's walking in, because divine presence doesn't avoid the mess. It transforms it. When God visits a house, He doesn't knock like a guest. He enters like an owner. You've always belonged to Him. You were His dwelling before you even believed. And now He's not coming to pass through. He's coming to stay. But don't mistake this for comfort only. His presence is order. When God steps in, chaos loses its seat. Fear becomes quiet. Clarity begins to breathe. It may not arrive with thunder, but it will arrive with peace. You'll notice the shift before you can describe it. Your thoughts will slow down. Your reactions will soften. You'll stop begging for signs and start walking with certainty. That's what happens when heaven lives within you. Some of you, if we're honest, have been surviving on spiritual fumes, just enough faith to whisper a tired amen before bed. God saw that. He saw you show up without applause. He saw your obedience when no one clapped. And now he's honoring you not with a temporary blessing, but with himself. This visitation isn't only about comfort, it's about alignment. Heaven is preparing you for something beyond understanding, a divine assignment, wrapped in peace, clarity, and supernatural provision. What's coming is not chaos, it's calling. Every door that closed was protection. Every person who left was direction. Every delay was synchronization. Takratran. This next move won't require striving. You're not chasing breakthrough anymore. Breakthrough is recognizing you. You've reached a place where heaven can trust you with manifestation. You are being positioned for divine partnership, where God's presence becomes your provision. His wisdom becomes your wealth. His timing becomes your testimony. This is not imagination. The shift you feel is real. Certain people have started to drift away without explanation. Old distractions no longer satisfy. That's not loss, it's refinement. The air is clearing because the King is entering. Breathe deeply. The atmosphere has changed. Peace is not visiting, it's moving in. What you've prayed for is no longer coming. It's here. You are standing inside answered prayer, inside prophetic fulfillment. And soon, everyone around you will see what heaven has already confirmed. God has come to your house, and he's never leaving. Chosen one, when God visits, he doesn't simply enter a room, he transforms it. His presence never arrives quietly to observe. It comes to restore. That's why lately your peace has been tested and your routine unsettled. You're not losing balance. Heaven is rearranging your atmosphere. What once felt comfortable now feels too small because your spirit is expanding into divine territory. You've been praying for breakthrough, but breakthrough often begins as disruption. The shaking you feel isn't destruction, it's construction. God is remodeling the architecture of your soul. The walls of fear are being replaced with faith. The ceiling of limitation is breaking open to release new vision. He's not removing stability, he's rebuilding strength. Anointed one. This is why certain friendships faded without conflict, why familiar spaces suddenly feel foreign. It's not rejection, it's redirection. God is clearing your environment to make room for his instruction. The divine cannot coexist with confusion. He's removing interference, so you can finally hear his whisper clearly. I remember walking through a similar season when everything comfortable began dissolving. My plans stopped working, my circle grew smaller, and I mistook the silence for abandonment. But it wasn't abandonment, it was renovation. God had entered my house and started moving furniture I didn't know was blocking the light. The emptiness wasn't punishment, it was preparation. And when peace returned, it carried purpose with it. Chosen. One, the same is happening for you. You've sensed it, that pull to be alone, to pray deeper, to release what no longer fits. Heaven has begun your refinement. The dreams that come alive at night, the restlessness, you can't explain the urge to simplify your life. These are not random emotions. They're the signs of visitation. God is aligning you to his rhythm. You're not being stripped, you're being streamlined. Every distraction leaving is an answered prayer. The pruning is proof you're trusted. Heaven only cuts what it intends to crown. So don't mourn what's fading. Bless it and let it go. You're not losing people, you're losing interference. The static is clearing because divine clarity is about to speak. This visitation is not a fleeting encounter, it's a transfer of authority. You're stepping into partnership, not performance. God isn't asking you to strive for perfection, he's teaching you to flow with his presence. You'll begin to notice divine timing working effortlessly, conversations opening doors, ideas coming at the exact moment of need, provision arriving before worry takes root. That's what happens when heaven moves in. Chosen one favor will begin to locate you. You won't have to chase it. You'll attract what aligns with your anointing. Opportunities will feel lighter because you're not forcing them, you're hosting them. God's presence is becoming your provision. What you used to chase will now pursue you because grace recognizes its home. The seed He planted in your spirit is now pushing through the soil. That's why pressure has surrounded you. Every unanswered question, every quiet delay, every emotional stretch, it's labor pain before revelation. The soil shakes before the sprouting. You're not breaking down, you're breaking open. Anointed One, heaven is saying, prepare the table. This isn't rehearsal, this is reality. You're stepping into your assignment with clarity and holy boldness. Stop chasing validation from those who can't discern your calling. You were never meant to fit their pattern. You were born to establish a new one. This is why some can no longer understand you. They're responding to the light that exposes what's not aligned. Listen carefully. This is not a temporary visitation. God isn't passing through. He's inhabiting. His peace is becoming permanent. His presence is your inheritance. You no longer need to look for signs. You are the sign. You are walking evidence that heaven has touched earth. So tomorrow when you rise, don't search for confirmation. Feel the quiet strength in your chest, that calm assurance that doesn't depend on circumstances. That is Him. That's what it means to be the dwelling place of God. You are not waiting for revival. You are revival. Chosen one, this is your unveiling. Heaven has turned your waiting into witnessing. The world is about to recognize what God has already confirmed. The King has entered your house, and He's not leaving. Chosen one, when God visits, He doesn't just touch your surroundings, He transforms your spirit. The change begins quietly, but it runs deep. You won't need to announce it. The world will sense it before you speak. Something about your presence will feel different, lighter, steadier, untouchable. This is how heaven marks its vessels. The peace that once seemed fleeting will now cling to you like a scent of glory that never fades. You'll notice it first inside your mind. Thoughts that once rushed like storms will begin to slow. The chaos that used to drive you will start losing its voice. You won't have to fight for peace anymore. Peace will become your atmosphere. Because the moment God takes residence, anxiety becomes a foreign language. You'll wake up realizing that what once scared you now strengthens you. The same battles that broke you before will now confirm your authority. Anointed. 1. This is the mystery of divine habitation. God doesn't visit to comfort emotions. He visits to commission identity. You're no longer surviving faith. You're carrying it. What was once a belief has become your being. And that's why you feel so different lately, not unstable, but unfamiliar. You've outgrown the old version of yourself. The frequency of heaven is retuning your heart. I've walked through this shift. There was a season when I tried to prove my worth through effort, through endless striving. But I learned that God's presence isn't earned, it's hosted. The day I stopped performing and started partnering, the heaviness lifted. I stopped asking for signs and started sensing Him in silence. That's when I discovered peace isn't a pause between storms. It's proof He's in the boat. Chosen one. That same peace is about to settle on you. You've been praying for God to change your situation, but He's changing you. Because when you shift, everything connected to you must follow. He's refining your reactions, rebuilding your rhythm, realigning your relationships. That's why certain conversations now feel heavy. That's why familiar people suddenly feel distant. The visitation requires separation. You can't stay bound to what doesn't breathe his presence. You'll also start noticing something new: discernment, a holy sensitivity awakening in you. Some will misunderstand it and call it distance, but it's protection. When you carry divine fire, not everyone can handle the heat. You're not meant to dim it to make others comfortable. You're meant to walk in it until their darkness decides to leave or transform. Anointed One. You are no longer looking for revival, you are the revival. Everywhere you go, something will shift. Atmospheres will respond to your voice because it carries the tone of obedience. You'll walk into rooms and people won't know why they feel peace, but they'll feel it. That's what happens when heaven inhabits a human. The divine becomes recognizable in ordinary form. And here's what's beautiful: you won't have to strive for recognition. You'll simply live, and evidence will follow. Opportunities will open because they recognize your readiness. The same places that once ignored you will now call for you, not because you change strategy, because you carry presence. Favor is the language of alignment. When heaven approves you, earth must respond. Chosen One. This is also the season of unveiling. The world will start seeing what God cultivated in silence. Your life will preach louder than any sermon. Your calm will convict. Your grace will attract. People will ask what shifted, and you'll only smile because there are no words for a transformation this holy. You've become the temple that once you were seeking. Understand this: the visitation was never meant to end in an encounter. It was meant to begin a new way of living. God didn't come to give you a feeling, He came to give you function. Every step you take now carries authority. Every word you speak echoes eternity. You don't wait for miracles, you walk as one. So, Chosen One, don't doubt the stillness you feel. It's not emptiness, it's evidence. God has taken residence within you. The light you carry is not borrowed, it's born. What once felt far is now home. And everyone around you will know, even if they can't explain it, that something holy lives here now. Because the presence that entered your house has decided to stay. Chosen One. When God visits, He doesn't come to admire your space. He comes to occupy it. His presence never arrives without purpose. Every whisper, every silence, every moment of stillness is carrying instruction. This is not just a visitation anymore. This is activation. The same presence that comforted you is now commissioning you. Heaven is turning your quiet prayers into living assignments. Anointed One, this is where the shift begins. You've been prepared in private, molded in silence, refined through resistance. Every delay trained your discernment. Every disappointment developed your endurance. None of it was wasted. Heaven wasn't punishing you, it was positioning you. And now the season of receiving has become the season of releasing. You are no longer waiting for God to move. He's waiting for you to move with Him. You can feel it already, that sacred tension between peace and purpose. Something within you knows there's more. That's not impatience, it's awakening. The spirit inside you is stirring, saying it's time. You've seen His presence transform your inner world. Now He wants to transform the world through you. The same hands that once trembled in prayer are about to build, create, speak, and restore. Chosen One. God doesn't fill a vessel just to keep it full. He fills it so it can overflow. The peace He gave you was never meant to be hidden. It's meant to be multiplied. That's why He's rearranging your focus, removing distractions, and refining your vision. He's calling you to step out, to release what He's placed within you. The dreams that won't leave your mind, the ideas that won't rest, those are divine blueprints. You're not imagining them, you're being instructed. I remember when this happened to me. I kept praying for more clarity, but God whispered, "You'll see more once you start walking." I learned that revelation is released by obedience, not comfort. The oil flows when you pour, not when you plan. The moment I acted on what I already knew, provision met me mid-step. That's how heaven works. It funds faith in motion. Anointed One, divine provision follows divine instruction. You're about to witness doors opening effortlessly because alignment has replaced striving. People will appear with what you need. Opportunities will unfold without force. The wealth transfer you've sensed in your spirit is not fantasy, it's fulfillment. But it's attached to movement, not rushing, but obedient momentum. Heaven always funds what heaven initiates. And yes, resistance will come. The same light that draws angels will also expose shadows. But you've been prepared for this. You no longer react the way you used to. The fire in you has matured into wisdom. You don't fight for validation. You stand in revelation. You've already passed through the furnace, now you carry its flame. The battles that once broke you will now confirm your authority. Chosen One. This is not a season of proving, it's a season of producing. You don't need to convince anyone of your calling. The fruit will speak for itself. Your words will carry new weight, not because you're louder, but because heaven echoes through your tone. You'll speak peace into storms, and they'll listen. You'll walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. That's the evidence of indwelling the divine, made visible through a willing vessel. Understand this, the presence that once visited you is now permanent. You've become the dwelling place. The same spirit that whispered comfort is now releasing command. And where God abides, there is no room for fear. You'll move differently, not out of pride, but purpose. You'll stop chasing opportunity and start embodying obedience. The world will recognize what heaven already confirmed you've been authorized. Anointed One, rise now. The visitation has become vocation. The peace has become power. The silence has become strategy. You are not being sent empty, you're being sent full. From this day forward, your life itself will declare God is in this house. And wherever you go, His presence goes with you. Chosen One, when God visits, He doesn't come to observe your life, He comes to transform it. His presence never arrives empty. Every silence, every pause, every whisper carries divine instruction. You've entered the point where visitation becomes vocation. Heaven didn't just stop by to comfort you, it came to commission you. The same Spirit that filled your home is now filling your purpose. Anointed One. This is the sacred transition from being healed to becoming a healer, from receiving revelation to releasing it. Every quiet moment, every hidden battle, every season of waiting was shaping you into a vessel that can carry glory without breaking under it. You've prayed, "Lord, use me," and now heaven responds. Step forward. The waiting room has become a war room. You are being activated. You feel it, don't you? That stirring that won't let you settle. That pull in your spirit that says there's more. That's not anxiety, that's divine momentum. Heaven is pushing you out of the comfort of visitation into the calling of manifestation. What was once private devotion is about to become public demonstration. The peace you've found in His presence is about to become the power that moves through you. Chosen One, when God fills a vessel, He expects overflow. He doesn't pour His Spirit into you just to soothe you, but to send you. Every idea, every dream that refuses to fade is a seed from eternity. You've been entrusted with assignments disguised as desires. Stop waiting for the perfect timing. Heaven's timing is now. The door you've been praying about will open when you move toward it. I've lived this moment myself. I once kept praying for clarity while standing still, and God whispered, "You'll see more when you start walking." That day, I learned faith is the map, not the destination. Revelation unfolds as you move. The oil increases when you pour, not when you preserve it. Every step of obedience unlocks unseen provision. God funds faith in motion. Anointed one. The financial and spiritual transfer you've sensed isn't random. It's tied to obedience. Resources are already aligning, waiting for your yes. Heaven supports what heaven starts. You're not striving anymore. You're synchronizing. Provision will meet you. Mid-step favor will confirm your movement, and what once felt heavy will begin to flow. Divine strategy will replace stress, because now you're moving at heaven's rhythm. But hear me. Chosen one divine movement also draws resistance. The same fire that attracts angels irritates darkness. Don't mistake opposition for failure. It's confirmation. You've become a carrier of presence, and presence disturbs anything unaligned. Yet you won't fall as before, because now you're fortified. The fire that once tested you now works for you. What broke you before will now bow to you. This season is not about proving your calling, it's about producing fruit. You won't need to convince anyone of your anointing. Evidence will speak louder than explanation. The tone of heaven is now in your voice. You'll say less, but shift more. Your prayers will carry precision. Your peace will carry authority. Your life will begin to testify without effort. That's the mark of habitation, the divine expressed through a willing human. Chosen. One, remember, God didn't visit to pass through. He came to dwell. His spirit is no longer an experience you chase. It's a reality you embody. That's why the world feels different. You've changed frequencies. You don't need external validation because you carry internal confirmation. The same presence that sat beside you in silence now walks within you in power. Anointed one, rise in holy confidence. This is the fulfillment of what you prayed for when no one was watching. You are no longer waiting for doors. You are the doorway. Wherever you go, heaven follows. Whatever you touch multiplies. The visitation has become habitation, and habitation has birthed assignment. Chosen, one step forward now. The peace has become power. The silence has become strategy. The encounter has become evidence. You are heaven's movement in motion. From this day forward, your very life will declare one undeniable truth. God is in this house, and this house is you. Chosen one. Once God visits you, can never return to who you were. His presence leaves fingerprints on your spirit, evidence that you've been touched by eternity. You no longer walk through life searching for meaning, you carry it. What once drained you now fuels you. The same presence that healed your wounds is now sending you out as a vessel of power, purpose, and peace. Anointed one. Something has changed within you, even if the world hasn't caught up yet. There's a new awareness stirring, a quiet strength, a sacred clarity. You don't chase signs anymore because you've become one. You no longer beg for open doors. Doors recognize you and open on their own. The atmosphere shifts when you enter because heaven has taken residence in your spirit. You carry divine frequency, and everything unaligned must adjust to it. You used to think visitation was an emotional experience. Now you realize it's a permanent exchange. God didn't stop by to comfort you, He came to commission you. Every conversation, every idea, every small act of obedience is now charged with divine purpose. The spirit that rested upon you is now flowing through you. That's why you feel both peaceful and powerful at once. Chosen one. When God takes over your life, confidence replaces confusion. You stop asking, "Am I ready?" because readiness isn't about perfection, it's about surrender. You've seen too much grace to doubt yourself now. The same God who met you in weakness is the one walking beside you in strength. He didn't just visit your house, he rebuilt it from the inside out. You're not fragile anymore, you've been forged in fire. I remember when I first realized this shift. I kept praying for proof, asking God for a sign that he was with me, but he answered with peace instead of thunder. Slowly, I understood the peace was the sign. The absence of panic was the evidence of presence. From that day, I stopped asking heaven to speak louder and started learning how to listen deeper. That's how transformation takes root, not in noise, but in knowing. Anointed One. This is where your faith becomes fluid. You stop striving and start flowing. What used to feel like pressure now feels like rhythm. God is teaching you to live from abundance, not anxiety. You're not chasing breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. The same Spirit that raised Jesus now animates your decisions, your voice, your vision. Everything ordinary is becoming sacred because you carry glory within it. People will begin to notice. They'll sense something holy but can't explain it. Your calm will disarm chaos. Your peace will preach without words. They'll call it luck, but you'll know it's alignment. Because when heaven inhabits a person, the world cannot categorize it. It can only witness it. You'll become living proof that God still walks among his chosen. Chosen one. You are stepping into divine authority, not dominance, but influence, born of intimacy. You won't need to push doors or chase applause. Presence will promote you. Heaven's favor will follow where you move in obedience. You'll speak and see shifts. You'll pray and watch burdens lift. You'll live with such clarity that even silence becomes prophetic. That's what happens when the house becomes his dwelling. And yes, moments of doubt will still visit, but they won't stay, because the house no longer belongs to fear. You may stumble, but never alone. You may pause, but never retreat. You've been sealed by visitation, marked by peace and trained by fire. That's why you walk differently now, not with pride, but with purpose. You know who sent you. You know who sustains you. Anointed One, lift your head. This is not the end of your encounter. It's the beginning of your assignment. You've become the vessel heaven trusts. The same God who entered your space is now moving through you. Wherever you go, light will follow. Miracles will unfold, not because you chase them, but because you carry the atmosphere where they're born. Chosen One, you are heaven's dwelling on earth, a walking reminder that divine visitation is real. From this day forward, your life is no longer waiting for God to arrive. It declares that he already has. Chosen One. What God has begun in you will not fade, it will expand. The visitation was never meant to be a fleeting encounter. It was heaven reclaiming its space within you. You are now the temple and the territory. You carry his voice, his wisdom, his rhythm. This is not imagination. This is incarnation, the word made alive through your obedience. Every moment from now on carries divine potential because the presence has made you his dwelling, anointed one. God doesn't visit homes to admire them. He visits to inhabit them. That's why your inner life has been rearranged so completely. The patterns that used to fit no longer do. Old temptations feel powerless. Old fears sound distant. The very atmosphere of your mind has shifted. You've become too aligned with heaven to tolerate what drains your spirit. This isn't you losing interest in the world. It's heaven refining your appetite. You've been asking what happens next. and heaven answers. You live as evidence. The greatest testimony isn't a dramatic miracle, it's a consistent life of peace. You're now carrying a supernatural steadiness that speaks louder than any sermon. People will feel it before they understand it. They'll notice that storms don't shake you, that silence doesn't scare you, that rejection no longer defines you. That's what divine habitation looks like, resilience wrapped in reverence. Chosen one. This is the stage where heaven begins to trust you with weight. God will place his favor on your name, but not to make you famous, to make you faithful. This next level requires humility as armor and discernment as navigation. You must learn to carry fire without arrogance, authority without control, influence without corruption. This is why you were trained in solitude to hold glory quietly. I remember when God first began to entrust me with more. Doors opened faster than I could understand. People listened, opportunities multiplied. And yet, he whispered, "Don't mistake visibility for victory. My presence is your promotion." That changed everything. The real evidence of his dwelling wasn't applause, it was the peace that remained when no one was watching. Anointed one, as you step into your assignment, remember that every miracle flows from intimacy. You don't need to perform, you need to stay connected. The same spirit that filled your room now walks beside you in every decision. He's not asking for perfection, just partnership. Keep your altar pure. Guard your atmosphere. Don't allow noise to replace nearness. When you feel the world pulling at you, return to the stillness where he first spoke. You're going to notice this shift soon. Conversations will carry greater impact. Your words will find the right ears at the right time. Ideas will land with precision. That's not coincidence. It's coordination. Heaven is choreographing your steps. Every meeting, every moment, every connection will begin to feel purposeful because it is. You are now moving at the speed of obedience. Chosen one, divine favor will start to surround you like oxygen. You won't chase opportunities. They'll chase you. The resources that once seemed distant will locate your anointing. But be wise. Favor is not a reward. It's a responsibility. Heaven funds those who build for eternity, not for ego. Keep your motives pure and your gratitude visible. The wealth that flows in this season, whether spiritual, relational, or financial, is sacred currency meant to advance light. Anointed one, don't be surprised when the enemy tries to distract you through admiration. Many will feel drawn to the presence you carry, but not everyone will understand it. Some will seek your glow while avoiding your discipline. Stay rooted. The glory upon you is heavy, but it will not crush you if you keep kneeling. Remember, crowns are safest in hands that worship. Chosen one, from this day forward walk as one who hosts God himself. Your life has become an altar that moves. Every word you speak carries fragrance. Every step leaves residue of glory. You are not chasing revival, you are revival. You are the walking continuation of heaven's visitation. The world will recognize it soon. They'll see the stillness in your eyes, the certainty in your tone, the peace in your posture. They won't have words for it, but their spirits will know God lives here. And they'll be right, because the King who visited your house never left. He made it his home. Chosen one, what began as a visitation has now become your identity. You are no longer the one waiting for God to arrive. You are the one he has chosen to dwell within. The atmosphere of heaven now breathes through your life. Every action, every conversation, every quiet decision is a continuation of that divine encounter. You have become the living evidence that when God visits a soul, he never leaves it the same. Anointed One. This season is about legacy, not one built by ambition, but by alignment. You weren't chosen because you were flawless. You were chosen because you were faithful. Heaven saw your endurance in silence, your generosity in scarcity, your worship through weariness. Those unseen moments built the foundation of this calling. Now God is using your story as proof that obedience always outlasts opposition. You may not realize it yet, but your life is echoing beyond you. Every act of surrender creates a ripple that reaches generations. When you forgive, heaven records it. When you speak truth, atmospheres shift. When you choose peace over pride, chains break in places you'll never see. You are walking in prayers your ancestors whispered through tears. You are the fulfillment of promises God never forgot. Chosen One, divine habitation, always matures into divine impact. The same fire that once tested you has become the light that leads others home. People will find peace in your presence without knowing why. They'll sense holiness in your stillness. That's not charisma, that's consecration. The residue of visitation rests on you, and it will draw those who are ready for their own encounter. Anointed One, understand this. Your influence is not about popularity. It's about carrying the frequency of heaven into spaces that have forgotten its sound. You are a reminder that God still moves through human hearts. When you speak, faith awakens. When you walk, order returns. You've become a carrier of divine atmosphere, a living altar clothed in flesh. I've experienced this transformation myself. There was a time when I wanted to hide my scars, thinking they made me weak, but God showed me that healed wounds shine brighter than unbroken skin. What once shamed me became my testimony. When you let Him inhabit your pain, He turns it into purpose. That's the legacy of the visited ones. They don't hide their history, they redeem it. Chosen One, the world needs what you carry. You walked through wilderness to guide wanderers. You endured silence so you could teach others how to hear. You faced loss to prove that resurrection is real. Your story is no accident, it's an assignment. You didn't miss your moment, you became it. You are the manifestation of divine timing. And as God expands your reach, remember, the most powerful legacies are built in humility. You're not called to impress, you're called to impact. True revival doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers through consistency. You've been trained for that. Your peace is a weapon. Your stability is deliverance for those still shaking. Heaven doesn't need noise, it needs vessels. Anointed One, some will be drawn to your light, but unprepared for your discipline. Don't dim yourself to fit their comfort. You are not responsible for who misunderstands your calling. Protect your peace, not your image. Stay close to the altar that built you. Remember, crowns rest safest on bowed heads. Chosen One. Soon people will tell you they feel lighter around you, safer near you, more aware of God after meeting you. That's the fragrance of visitation, the scent of heaven carried through obedience. You've become a mobile sanctuary. You don't need a pulpit, your presence preaches. Legacy is not about what you leave behind. It's about what you live right now. Every step taken in obedience is eternal. The world forgets titles, but it never forgets presence, and presence is what you carry. Anointed One, walk with humility, but stand with power. You are heaven's continuation proof that divine visitation never ends, it multiplies. The same God who visited your house now walks through you to reach others. Chosen One. Your story is no longer about what God did for you. It's about what He's doing through you. You are the legacy of His presence, the dwelling place of His glory. Chosen one, the visitation that transformed your life was never meant to stop with you. You are part of a generation chosen to carry the presence of God into the ordinary. Heaven did not fill you so you could hold it quietly. It filled you so you could overflow. You are not just a witness of His glory, you are now a vessel of it. Everywhere you go, His presence will move through your obedience. Anointed one, your separation had purpose. The isolation you once feared was divine strategy. God needed to take you into solitude so He could sanctify your sound. He couldn't build this kind of oil in crowded places. Every silent season, every unanswered prayer, every time you felt forgotten, it was construction. You were being refined into a dwelling heaven could trust. The fire didn't destroy you, it purified you. And now you shine with the glow of endurance. Chosen one. This is not the end of visitation. It's the beginning of transference. The same presence that changed you will now awaken others. People will encounter peace in your voice, courage in your silence, healing in your presence. You won't even have to speak much. Your atmosphere will do the talking. You are becoming a walking altar, a living reminder that God still breathes through human vessels. Anointed one. You are part of heaven's remnant, a generation rising quietly but carrying thunder in their spirit. These are not celebrities of faith, they are servants of glory. They walk in humility, but when they speak, light shifts rooms. They are artists, intercessors, teachers, and prophets clothed in everyday form. And you are one of them. The world may not understand you, but heaven recognizes your frequency. I remember when I first realized what it meant to carry God's presence. I was walking alone one morning thinking I was unnoticed. Then I felt it, that gentle awareness that heaven was walking with me. I didn't need a platform to feel purpose. I just needed surrender. That's when I learned real power doesn't perform, it abides. You don't chase attention, you carry alignment. Chosen one, this is your call now to live as a vessel of quiet authority. You're not called to shout louder, you're called to live deeper, to bring peace where panic used to live, to speak grace in spaces that know only judgment, to reflect heaven's stillness in a noisy world. You are not assigned to impress, you're assigned to awaken. You are light disguised as a person, anointed. 1. Guard this light well. Some will be drawn to your glow but unprepared for its cost. Others will misinterpret your peace as pride. Don't chase validation. You were not called to be understood by the masses, only recognized by the chosen. Stay grounded in prayer. Stay hidden in humility. Stay yielded in obedience. That's where your oil refills and your fire stays pure. Soon you'll notice divine alignment. Unexpected favor will appear. Conversations will lead to destiny. Resources will meet your readiness. But remember, expansion is not reward, it's responsibility. Heaven increases only what it can trust. You've proven trustworthy, so the flow will grow. Still, never forget, your purpose is to carry, not to claim. Chosen one. The visitation wasn't a moment, it was a mission. You are now the proof that heaven has touched earth. Your life is the continuation of that encounter. Every act of kindness, every word of truth, every silent prayer is carrying glory forward. You are the evidence that God still inhabits His people. Anointed one, carry this truth. The King is within you. You do not enter rooms alone. The atmosphere follows. Your presence can shift despair into peace. Your stillness can silence storms. Your obedience can heal generations. That is the authority of one who has been visited. Chosen one, from this day forward, live as heaven's continuation. The visitation was never only personal, it was generational. Through you, God is reviving faith in hearts that forgot how to believe. You are the bridge between heaven and earth, the living flame that reminds the world the King still walks among his people. Chosen one. What began as a visitation has become your very essence. You are no longer waiting for God to show up. He already has, and he chose to remain. Every breath you take now carries his rhythm. You walk, speak, and create from the awareness that heaven has made you its dwelling. You are not chasing presence. You are carrying it. This is not the end of your encounter. It's the expansion of it. Anointed one, you've crossed the threshold from receiving to releasing. What was once poured into you will now flow through you. You are no longer surviving the storm, you are steering it. The peace you carry isn't fragile, it's fortified. People will sense it without knowing why. They'll call it confidence, but it's communion. You are living proof that God doesn't just visit, he inhabits. Chosen one. Your assignment now is to live as one who knows heaven resides within. Every choice, every word, every moment is a doorway for God to express himself through you. You've prayed for breakthrough, but heaven answers by saying, you are the breakthrough. When you walk in alignment, the atmosphere obeys. When you speak truth, creation listens. The divine has taken form in your obedience. Anointed one. This is where purpose becomes legacy. God is no longer only blessing you, he's building through you. The same strength that held you through trials will now sustain others. The wisdom you gained in silence will become guidance for many. You're not just part of God's story, you're a chapter that keeps the revelation alive. Heaven trusted you with weight because you proved faithful with weakness. I remember the moment I realized this shift. It wasn't loud, it was quiet, like peace settling after a storm. I stopped asking God to visit and started recognizing he was already home. I understood that presence isn't a place you enter, it's a life you embody. Since then, every ordinary day has felt sacred. That's what happens when visitation becomes identity. Everything becomes worship. Chosen one in this next dimension, obedience is your language. Heaven will guide you through subtle nudges, a whisper, a feeling, a sudden knowing. Don't hesitate. Move when he moves. Every step of faith activates divine timing. You may not see results immediately, but each act of obedience builds invisible foundations. Heaven measures success by surrender, not speed. Anointed one. You stand at the intersection of generations. You are the bridge between old prayers and new promises. The blessings your ancestors longed for are being fulfilled through you. You carry their tears in your triumphs. The curses they battled are breaking under your feet. You are the hinge between history and destiny, chosen to rewrite what once felt irreversible. Chosen one, divine visitation always multiplies. What God started in your solitude will ripple through cities. Your presence will bring clarity. Your words will unlock courage. Your faith will activate miracles in others. You won't need to prove your calling. The fruit will testify. You have become heaven's continuation, a living echo of divine promise. But remember, anointed one, greater glory requires deeper humility. Stay hidden in prayer. Keep your motives pure. Don't let favor distract you from fellowship. Influence without intimacy is emptiness. The higher heaven lifts you, the lower your heart must bow. Protect the presence above all else. It's the crown of your calling, the proof of your connection. Chosen one, as you step into what's next, don't call this the conclusion, call it the continuation. The King who once visited your home has made it his throne. You carry his essence, his authority, his compassion. The same spirit that hovered over creation now hovers within you. The same voice that spoke, "Let there be light," now speaks through your surrender. Anointed one, this is your destiny to walk as living evidence that God still dwells among his people. You are his movement in motion, his word made visible. Wherever you go, atmospheres will shift. Hearts will awaken, and heaven will whisper the truth the world forgot. The visitation never ended. It became you. Chosen. 1. What God began as a visitation has now become habitation. You are no longer reaching for heaven. Heaven has taken residence within you. Every step you take now carries divine rhythm. Every word you speak echoes eternity. You're not chasing the presence anymore. You are walking as its vessel. The story didn't end with his arrival. It began with your awakening. Anointed one, your life has become sacred territory. You are the meeting place between God and man, a living sanctuary where heaven still touches earth. When people encounter you, they won't just see a believer. They'll feel the atmosphere of peace that follows you. The same presence that once filled a room now flows through your life. You are a carrier of calm clarity and courage, evidence that God still dwells among his chosen. Chosen one, the authority within you was not given for comfort, but for continuity. God entrusted you with his presence so that his work could continue through you. Wherever you go, light travels. When you enter a place, confusion loses its seat. When you speak, peace begins to reign. You are proof that grace has hands, that glory wears human form. The kingdom moves every time you move. Anointed one, do you see now why the battle was so intense? The enemy fought not because of who you were, but because of what you would become, a living dwelling of God's Spirit. Every delay, every betrayal, every lonely season was allowed to refine you, not destroy you. You learned endurance in silence, discernment in rejection, and intimacy in isolation. Those were not punishments. They were preparations. Heaven was shaping a vessel that could carry fire without burning out. I remember when I realized this, I had been praying desperately, asking God to fill me again, when suddenly he whispered, "I never left." That moment changed me. I stopped praying for him to come and started thanking him for being here. I understood that presence is not something we chase, it's something we host. Since then, my peace has not depended on circumstance, but on communion. Chosen one. This is where you now stand in unbroken fellowship. God no longer meets you at a distance. He moves through your daily life. You'll notice it in your timing, in your words, in your intuition. What once felt like coincidence will reveal itself as coordination. Heaven will guide you through impressions, through divine encounters, through invisible orchestration. Stay sensitive, stay available. That's how the flow continues. Anointed one, the measure of your impact will no longer be applause but alignment. God isn't sending you to perform. He's sending you to carry peace. You will bring light into boardrooms, comfort into chaos, and revelation into relationships. You don't have to announce your anointing. The fruit will testify. When others sense stillness around you, they are sensing the King within you. Chosen one, you are not here to blend in, you are here to reveal. The presence you carry will unsettle darkness, inspire faith, and awaken purpose. Some will misunderstand you, others will be drawn to you, but all will be changed by what you host. Never shrink your light to make others comfortable. You were created to illuminate. Anointed, one, remain anchored in humility. The deeper the glory grows, the lower your posture must become. Protect your intimacy with God like it's treasure, because it is. Don't let recognition replace reverence. Every miracle that flows through you belongs to Him. The moment you forget that the oil stops, stay small enough for His Spirit to rest upon you. Chosen one, as this journey continues, remember the story was never about visitation. It was about transformation. The one who once stood beside you now lives within you. You are the continuation of His promise, the fulfillment of His word, the embodiment of His presence. You are what heaven looks like when it walks the earth. And from this day forward, wherever you go, may the atmosphere testify light has arrived, peace has settled, and the King is here. Because the God who visited your house has never left. He has made His home within you. Chosen one, now that heaven has made its home in you, your life is no longer ordinary. Every moment has become a meeting, every breath a prayer, every step a declaration that God still reigns. You are the continuation of a sacred story, the living reminder that the King didn't just visit, He stayed. You are walking proof that divinity and humanity can dwell together in harmony. Redefine, the presence within you is not silent, it's strategic. The Spirit of God now moves through you like a quiet river, guiding your instincts, aligning your path, and speaking through your stillness. You'll notice how peace begins to lead where logic used to rule. You'll make decisions that don't make sense on paper, but produce divine results. That's how heaven navigates through you, not through noise, but through knowing. Chosen. 1. The world around you is waiting for what you carry. The visitation was personal, but its purpose is collective. You were filled so others could be awakened. You were healed so others could find hope. This is how the kingdom multiplies, one surrendered vessel at a time. Every act of love, every word of truth, every quiet moment of prayer is God continuing His mission through your humanity. Anointed one, the presence you carry is not fragile. It doesn't fade when you feel weary. It deepens when you rest. You don't have to strive to keep it, you just have to stay aware of it. The King within doesn't demand performance. He desires partnership. Walk with Him the way you breathe, constantly, naturally, without striving. The more conscious you are of His nearness, the more miracles will unfold without your effort. I learned this truth one morning when I felt empty and unworthy. I thought God had withdrawn His presence because I felt nothing. But as I sat in silence, I heard Him whisper, "My presence isn't gone. Your awareness is." That moment changed everything. I realized that divine indwelling isn't measured by emotion, it's measured by alignment. Since then, I've stopped chasing feelings and started trusting fellowship. Chosen one, your life now operates under divine rhythm. You are being positioned in places that need the presence you host. Heaven will send you into spaces others overlook, not to blend in, but to shift the atmosphere. You are a carrier of calm in a chaotic world, a stabilizer for those shaken by fear. You'll speak peace into panic order, into confusion, and faith into despair. You don't need a title for this. Your presence is the assignment. Anointed one, remember this. Carrying the King means carrying His nature. That means humility in power, mercy in authority, and love in leadership. God didn't make you a vessel of glory to dominate. He made you to demonstrate. Your greatness is not in how high you rise, but in how deeply you serve. Every time you choose grace over pride, heaven expands through you. You are not called to impress people, you are called to reveal God. Tjänars chosen man ansonsen. Tastusansen saput bodetu to bidul. Isaiah 10 tjekiaia. Bi tansara setio Ikro Fensans. Many hearts are cold, many souls restless, but through you, God is rekindling remembrance. You are part of the revival that doesn't begin in churches, but in conversations, workplaces and homes. You are the proof that the kingdom is not coming, it's already here. Wherever your feet touch, holy ground appears. The glow around you is not spotlight, it's assignment. Anointed One, never forget you are not alone. The same angels that attended the visitation still walk with you now. The same Spirit that once whispered guidance now speaks through your intuition. Heaven's help has not lessened, it has localized. The King who reigns in eternity is now reigning from within you. Chosen One, from this point on, your worship is no longer just words. It's lifestyle. Your prayers are not just petitions, they are prophecies. You are no longer waiting for God to move. You are His movement. Everywhere you go, the world will feel the echo of heaven. You are living revelation, divine power, disguised as peace, holy fire, clothed in humility. Anointed One, lift your head. The story continues through your obedience. You are not the ending of God's visitation. You are the evidence that it never ended. The King who came to your house has filled your heart and claimed your future. Chosen One, walk in quiet boldness. Let your life speak what words cannot. God lives here. And wherever you go, may the world remember through you the King has returned and he never plans to leave again. Chosen One. Now that the King lives within you, the light you carry is not seasonal, it is eternal. The flame God lit in your spirit will not flicker out. It will burn quietly through every season, through joy and through trial. You are no longer a seeker of presence, you are a steward of it. The same Spirit that raised Christ now moves through your words, your silence, your touch, and your prayers. You have become the evidence of His endless nearness. Anointed One, this light inside you has purpose. It's not for display, it's for direction. You are heaven's lantern in dark spaces, a reminder that God still guides, still restores, still redeems. There will be moments when the world feels heavy, when confusion seems to cover everything, and yet you will glow. You'll wonder why peace remains while chaos rages, and that's how you'll know the presence hasn't left. It's leading. Chosen One. This is your calling now, to bring illumination without arrogance, to walk into rooms not demanding attention, but transforming atmosphere. You don't need to announce your light, you only need to keep it burning. Some will be drawn to it, others will resist it. But your job isn't to convince, it's to continue. The glow of heaven will speak louder than words. Anointed One, remember that light travels farthest in humility. God didn't anoint you to prove power. He anointed you to reflect His nature. That means gentleness, where others show force, patience, where others choose pride, forgiveness, where others hold grudges. Each act of mercy becomes a sermon. You are the message now, living, breathing, radiant truth. I recall a moment when I nearly let the weight of the world dim my fire. Everything felt delayed, prayers unanswered, and I thought maybe I'd lost the presence. But in the stillness I heard, the flame is not gone. It's just learning to glow steadily. That moment reshaped my faith. I understood that God doesn't want us burning out in flashes of passion. He wants us glowing with endurance. Chosen One. Endurance is your strength now. You're being called to sustain the presence through consistency, not emotion. You'll carry light into seasons others call darkness, and keep hope alive in people who have forgotten how to dream. You are heaven's persistence in human form. The same God who once visited your house now visits every heart you encounter through you. Anointed One, divine presence matures into divine responsibility. As your influence expands, so must your discernment. Not everyone drawn to your light will honor it. Some will admire it. Others will attempt to drain it. That's why humility and boundaries must walk hand in hand. Protect your peace as you protect your purpose. Not everyone deserves access to what God entrusted to you. Chosen one. Understand this: your calling isn't just spiritual, it's generational. The choices you make now ripple into decades beyond you. Your obedience builds highways for others to find Him. You are writing blueprints of faith that future hearts will follow. What God began in you is not meant to end here. It's meant to multiply. Every step you take leaves light for someone else's path. Anointed One. There will be times when this light feels like a burden, when solitude feels heavy. In those moments, return to the altar within. Remember, the King doesn't visit occasionally. He lives permanently. His presence renews itself daily. You don't have to reignite the flame. You just have to breathe in His nearness. Chosen one. Your life is no longer about waiting for revival. You are the revival. Every prayer you speak sends ripples across the unseen. Every act of kindness becomes divine warfare. Every moment you choose peace is proof that heaven wins again. Anointed One, carry this truth wherever you go. You are the eternal continuation of God's dwelling. Your heart is His home, your words, His instrument, your existence, His testimony. You are what happens when heaven refuses to stay silent. Chosen one. Lift your eyes. You are not the end of the visitation. You are its evidence. The light that began in your house is spreading through your world. And as you walk forward, the Spirit will whisper through every breath you take, I am still here. Chosen one. This is the hour of unveiling. Everything heaven planted in you during the visitation is now coming alive. What once felt like waiting has turned into walking. What once felt like survival has become assignment. You are not who you were when this journey began. The presence has matured. You purified you, and now it is commissioning you to carry light into places that forgot it existed. Anointed One. This is the final stage of transformation, not an ending, but an awakening. You are stepping into your divine rhythm, where your spirit and heaven move in perfect sync. You will feel guided by something deeper than logic, a knowing that flows from communion. God no longer needs to speak through thunder. His whisper now lives in your awareness. You've become one with His rhythm, moving with His unseen choreography. Chosen one. The proof of His dwelling will be in your peace. It will not always roar. Sometimes it will rest. Others may question your calm, but you'll know it's not complacency, it's confidence. You have seen enough of God to stop doubting His timing. The same presence that once visited you in sacred stillness now walks beside you through ordinary days. You are living, breathing harmony between heaven and earth. Anointed One. This peace is not passive, it's power under control. The world will feel it through you in how you speak, lead, forgive, and wait. You will heal simply by staying anchored. That's what divine indwelling does. It makes your very being a ministry. You no longer strive to represent God. You radiate Him. The visitation was not an experience, it was an exchange. You gave Him your chaos. He gave you His calm. I remember realizing this in my own walk. After years of chasing new encounters, I woke one morning and felt Him in the smallest details, in the sound of breath in sunlight through the window, in quiet gratitude. I finally understood that I had been searching for what was already settled inside me. The presence I once sought outside had become the pulse within. That was the moment of awakening. Chosen one. This same awakening is happening in you. You are entering a state of awareness where divine guidance becomes second nature. You'll begin to recognize God in conversations, in timing, in interruptions. Nothing will feel random anymore. Heaven will begin to use your intuition as language. When you feel a holy nudge, follow it. When you sense stillness, stay there. That's how you'll navigate this next chapter, not through striving, but sensing. Anointed One, the final proof that you've been visited is that love has become your reflex. You no longer respond from fear, but from faith. You no longer seek validation because you've found identity. God has anchored you too deeply to be swayed by opinion. Your confidence now flows from covenant. You are the proof that intimacy with God doesn't make you louder, it makes you luminous. Chosen one, as you continue forward, remember this truth. Your life is not about performance, it's about presence. You don't need to do more to prove His reality. You only need to stay aware. The Spirit that filled prophets and kings now flows through you. You are heaven's extension, a continuation of the same power that parted seas and raised the dead. That power doesn't visit occasionally, it lives permanently. Anointed One, you have become the message. The visitation's purpose was never to make you emotional, it was to make you eternal. You carry within you the seed of revival. Every act of obedience waters it. Every breath of gratitude keeps it alive. You are the reminder to this generation that God still moves, still speaks, still reigns. Chosen One, lift your head. The waiting is over. The walking has begun. The silence has turned into song. The presence that once filled your room now fills your reality. You are not just the witness of His glory, you are its continuation. And as you move forward, let this truth echo in your spirit. The visitation never ended. It awakened you, transformed you, and now it travels through you. You are heaven's heartbeat in human form, the dwelling, the message, the light. Chosen One, by now you understand that God's visitation was never meant to end. It wasn't a passing moment, it was a covenant written in your spirit before you were born. You are not walking away from that encounter, you are walking within it. Every step you take is sacred ground. Every breath carries divine intention. You are no longer just a believer, you are a carrier of presence. Anointed One. This covenant means God will never withdraw from the heart that welcomed Him. You don't chase His attention, you live in His habitation. What began as a whisper has become a permanent dwelling. Even in silence He speaks. Even in uncertainty He remains. This is not an emotional connection, but a divine promise. The King has chosen His home, and that home is you. Chosen One. This awareness transforms your perspective. The world no longer looks random because you now see it through redemption. The same Spirit that visited prophets and apostles now moves through your humanity. You are living scripture proof that grace still chooses vessels made of dust. Heaven has made its base inside your being. Anointed One. The presence within you continues to teach. Some lessons come through peace, others through pressure. Don't resist either. Peace reminds you of His nearness. Pain reveals His power. Both shape you for the glory you now host. Every unanswered question, every delay, every stretching season, all of it has been divine instruction. The Spirit is not just comforting you, He's cultivating you. I once thought God's silence meant something was wrong, until I realized the stillness was his protection. He was preserving me so the promise wouldn't arrive before I was ready. Covenant presence doesn't move quickly, but it never moves wrong. Chosen one. This covenant will attract people to your peace. They'll be drawn to your steadiness, curious about your calm. You won't need to speak loudly. Your life will do the preaching. The light you carry awakens hunger in hearts that forgot what holiness feels like. This is how heaven multiplies through carriers like you. Anointed one, remember, carrying glory requires humility. The presence in you doesn't make you greater than others. It makes you more responsible. You've been chosen to reveal God, not replace him. Stay gentle. Move slowly. Listen deeply. The most powerful vessels are those small enough for God to stay visible through them. Chosen one. The covenant you walk in is eternal. Your obedience today opens doors for generations tomorrow. You are building legacies of faith that will echo through time. Anointed one. This is what it means to be chosen to live as a bridge between time and eternity. Every act of surrender writes history in heaven. You are safe inside his sovereignty. Chosen one, lift your eyes. The promise remains. The King still reigns not beside you, but within you. You are the continuation of his covenant, the dwelling of his glory, and the proof that his visitation never ends. Chosen one. The greatest miracle isn't that God visited you, it's that he decided to stay. The kingdom of heaven is no longer distant, it now lives inside you. You are the temple, the bridge between the seen and unseen, the vessel through which God walks the earth. Every heartbeat carries his rhythm, every breath echoes his spirit. You no longer seek his presence, you release it. Anointed one, this revelation shifts everything. Prayer is no longer reaching up, it's releasing what's already within. When you choose peace over panic, heaven moves. When you forgive, the kingdom advances. When you speak truth, angels respond. You are not waiting for revival, you are revival. The same glory that descended on prophets and kings now moves through your obedience. Chosen one, that's why the journey was hard. The pain, the isolation, the pruning, they prepared you to carry weight without breaking. You were refined so the glory could rest on you without consuming you. The fire didn't destroy, it purified. What once crushed you now confirms your strength. You've become a vessel strong enough for divine assignment. Anointed one, the kingdom doesn't come through noise but through knowing. God reigns through your peace. You don't need to beg for his presence, you need to become aware of it. The more you rest, the more he releases. Heaven works through stillness, not striving. You are learning to move with his rhythm, to trust divine timing instead of demanding control. I once prayed for God to show up, but he whispered, "I never left." That moment changed me. I realized the presence I kept chasing was already here. Since then, my prayer has changed from "Come, Lord," to "Flow, Lord." Heaven doesn't need to arrive, it only needs to be acknowledged. Chosen one, you no longer pray from lack, but from fullness. You are not trying to reach victory, you are speaking from it. You don't force results, you align with them. The kingdom inside you carries authority, not anxiety. When you walk into a room, peace follows. When you speak, things settle. The power isn't in your tone, but in your awareness. Anointed one, guard this awareness fiercely. The world will try to distract you, to make you forget what you carry. But gratitude will keep you grounded. Worship will keep you aligned. Presence never leaves, it only waits for attention. Chosen one, live as one who knows the King dwells within. Carry peace like power. Speak truth with love. Walk as a living sanctuary, a vessel of endless light. Wherever you go, may others feel the shift and know the kingdom is here because the King is home. Chosen one. As this message comes to a close, know this is not an ending, it's activation. Heaven has already released what you've been praying for. The visitation you felt stirring is unfolding even now. You are standing in your Kairos moment, the exact divine time appointed for your transformation. Anointed One, may peace wrap around your home, may clarity rise in your spirit, and may divine provision locate you with precision. The supernatural transfer has begun, from waiting to walking, from promise to possession. Stay faithful, stay aligned, stay aware. You are not chasing breakthrough. You are living inside one. Type Amen in the comments if this word confirmed your spirit, and share it with someone who needs this same encounter. Until next time, remain anchored in grace and awake in glory, for the King who visits you now walks within you.